before we start to use some of the scans of our masterboards, I just wanted to show you one last masterboard that I made. This is not my preferred method of making a masterboard. All of this paper was hand torn, so we've got curved edges as well as straight edges. Now this particular one I think turned out okay, but sometimes I find it a little bit problematic to tear my paper by hand. Again, it will go every way. This is the scan of the masterboard that I made. You can see this has a more organic feel to it, but to me it's also it's a little bit more chaotic, and sometimes I just don't want that kind of look and feel to my work. This is after I decorated it further. So I added some brown ink, I added 2 butterflies, and I also added 3 of the flowers. So that's the original masterboard, and these are the 2 scans that I made using that particular masterboard. Again, like I said, it's always down to personal taste. I prefer this kind of straighter line, torn edge look. Welcome to part 3, where we are going to be using our scanned masterboards to make some ephemera and things that we can use in our journals. We're going to do 2 varieties. We're going to do one where we can actually scan again. So we've got tags, for example, as templates and ready-mades, and then we're going to decorate some which will not be suitable for scanning. So I've done some scans. Now in the digital kit there are templates for tags, envelope and pockets. So what I do is I pop these through the printer to print a print. I mean, this I think still is perfect for journaling page. And then I've put it through again using the tag template, and I've done a few. So I've done 3 different types of tags, and then I have done 2 different envelopes. So we're going to start with something really simple first of all, these ones, and I'm just going to cut these out. So these are my first 3 tags. Now you know that I love to use recycled packaging to back my tags, so I have various bits and pieces here that I'm going to use to mount these. Now to do this I'm actually going to use my Fabri-Tac. So if you wish, you could now scan these. So obviously you'll use less ink when you print your tags, and then you could reprint them as many times as you like. We're going to do a couple of really simple decorating ideas for these tags, as simple as maybe just adding this image, and now we have it printed and cut into a tag shape. We've kind of got a much better idea where the image will go and how it will look. So I'm going to just ink this around the edge to darken that up, and this one is going to be super simple. So I'm going to glue this onto here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew around the edge with a straight stitch, and then I'm going to sew around the image with a zigzag stitch. I'll be right back. So this is my tag. It is 100% unique to me. I've made this tag, I've made the collage. Nobody's going to have a tag identical to this, but I am still able to scan this tag if I want to and use it as many times as I like, to save me using the same ink, having to sew, all of those things. So that is an absolutely brilliant tag, I think, made from our masterboard. So that's tag number 1. I can still do anything to this that I like, and I am going to add more to it. We're going to just quickly move on to this one because I'm going to work on these now together. Right. Now, I love to use ink splotches, and I'm going to use my brown ink. I have a small long head watercolour brush. What I'm just going to do is tear this because I don't want to get too much ink on that image. And I'm really going to town with that. Okay. Going to give this a dry. So I now have 2 tags. This one is still suitable for scanning. This one is still suitable for scanning. Now I'm going to add this butterfly to this tag. Okay, so I now have these 2 tags. I'm going to sew this one. So that's 2 tags done, again suitable for scanning. This is my 3rd tag. Kind of got this big gap here. This particular tag is great for using stamps and stencils on, but that would mean we're no longer able to scan it. So I'm going to use this image. And I'm going to sew this one too. So this tag is now finished. I've sewn around the image and around the tag. So all 3 of these can now be scanned again and used for future tags. These tags I'm going to do something a bit different with. So I'm just going to cut them out. So I've got some distress ink. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use this stencil because I just think the pattern is going to complement the patterns on these. So I'm going to use Faded Jeans. Okay, I've cut out some of these butterflies and I'm going to use this one. I'm just going to use the ink that's still on this sponge. And I have this rubber stamp, which is a Seth Apter stamp. And I'm going to use my forest green. Okay, I like that. Obviously I need to mount it and sew it, but this is an example of what you can do to a tag that you have made from your masterboard, but now this is not suitable for scanning. So I actually really do love this stamp, so I'm just going to have a play actually with this stamp on this tag. Maybe there's quite a lot of, let's get some of these blue circles on here. I just think it looks really nice against those lighter areas of the tag. So that's quite nice. So that same paper, I have used the envelope template. Right, I'm gonna decorate this slightly before I go any further. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ink the edge, and I'm going to use the good old faithful vintage photo. I will need to ink the inside of this envelope shortly as well. Now I used this spray on this pattern earlier and I really enjoyed doing that. I thought it looked really nice, so I'm going to add some ink to this. And I'm also going to add some of the oxide. Now I'm going to dry it. Okay, I think I'm going to use this stamp yet again to just add some detail in a few of these little plainer areas. That's quite enough, I think. It's almost dry. So I'm going to use my ruler to just fold my envelope. Use my bone folder. And I always fold it in on itself first, so I know where my folds are going to go, and then I will fold it backwards. We could absolutely continue to decorate this envelope. I think the only thing I'm going to do is add the butterfly, and I'm going to add it here. So I'm going to ink first. That's really cute. That could attach to the a page. So let's say this is our journal page. We could have this like so, or like so, and then the envelope would be the other side. Now, because I have used that particular envelope, I'm actually going to include some crackled campfire. So that is a little envelope. That's a very quick little project using our scan and some ink. So what I want to do now for the final thing is just make a template for a kind of mini art book. And I'm going to grab some of the other scans that I have made, including this one. So I've got four pages here. This one is not going to work quite as well because I have got the gap at the top and the bottom. But what I'm going to do is start by folding my papers in half. Okay, I'm going to grab my cutter. This one is the one with the longer edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see how big this could be and actually allow me to cut off this surplus area, and I can make it 9 centimeters. So I'm going to cut the others the same. You'd obviously be able to leave all of yours bigger. If you fill your page okay, I'm not going to cut these ends off at the moment. What I'm now going to do is fold these in half this way. Okay, so I've got my 4 pieces like so. Right, what I'm going to do is I am just going to glue the inside. So I'm going to open this up like so. I can see roughly where I have my line. I'm just going to put a bead of glue down there and down each side. Now when you're making your pages, if you want to, you could leave the top open or you could leave the bottom open. Now that's glued, I'm just going to cut that off. The reason I cut it afterwards is because if I cut it and then glue it and fold it back into place, we might actually move those pages very slightly, so they're not going to join up quite so well. So you can kind of decide which one you want on the top. But the one thing I do want to do is make sure that I ink all of my pages. So I'm going to do that. So there are a few options for putting these together. The first thing you could do is put all of the pages inside each other and sew it together like a standard journal. I'm going to put this together using washi tape. So like I said, the idea of this is simple ephemera using our Masterboards. So I'm going to put these 2 pages together like so. I'm going to run a small bead of glue there and there. I'm going to work half at a time. So I'm going to line this up and cut that off. And then I'm going to add this on the other side. Like so. And then I'm going to run a little bead of glue up either side of the other side. And then I can add washi here too. And then we cut off the spare. Okay, so I'll let that one dry while I do these 2. So now we can add these 2 together too. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have enjoyed the course and you found it useful. I hope you find the links for copyright information useful. Obviously, these are very quick ephemera pieces that we've made. You've got lots of options to continue to decorate your little accordion book. We've obviously gone over how we can make some really quick and easy ephemera, especially using the templates that are provided in the kit. We have looked at how we can make multiple tags using kit elements which are still suitable for scanning and remaking whenever you need them. And we had a really quick look at how we can use stencils and stamps on top of our masterboard, but of course we can't scan these, but we've got the start of a tag here. Obviously you can carry on decorating them when you've got this far. You can add your brad, or you can add an eyelet and some sari silk. You can sew a tab on the top. You can continue to decorate these in so many different ways. Thanks again for joining me. I really do hope that you have got something out of this course. I will see you again soon. Bye.